Well, welcome back to another video. We're still currently in lockdown, so we're all stuck indoors and can't get out with the camera. So what I thought I'd do is give you a couple of tips every now and again as to how I do certain things within Lightroom and Photoshop. And today I've decided that I'm going to show you how I add a white border to my images in Photoshop. Now obviously if that is something that you do regularly and you have several images through the course of a vlog, it can be quite time consuming just literally adding borders to images. So the quickest way that I found to do this is to set up an action. If you've never used actions before, it's really simple. It's just like using a tape recorder and pressing record on a tape recorder, and then obviously within Photoshop it records all the keystrokes and shortcuts that you use while it's recording. You assign it to a key and it plays it back in one go for you afterwards. So let's just jump over into Photoshop here, and what I like to do is I have this image open up and just say that I've now finished processing the image and I want to add a white border. Now what my workspace is set up in is the photography workspace. So if you go to Windows Workspace and come down to photography, you get this layout. Now on the right hand side here, the second icon down is actions. If you press actions, you get this dialog box come up, and on the bottom here is your options for play, etc. Now the little where is it? The little three lines, I think they call it like the burger icon. If you hit that and hit new action, and you get this dialog box come up, and you can call it a name. I like just to call it thin white border. Now I like to assign this to F2, and I have a group set up within the file structure here called My Actions. So all the actions that I create, I store in My Actions. Now that's the default settings set up. You just hit record. So now I press the record button. Now it's telling me here that the shortcut for this action will hide the shortcut for the cut command. Now like I said, I don't use F2 as a cut command, so that doesn't bother me, so I'll just accept that. So now we are recording, and it will sit there just waiting for you to add keystrokes. So to add a white border, you go up to image, come down to canvas size, and make sure that the relative box is ticked. Now I like to work in pixels, and make sure that the anchor point is set in the middle of this square, so as it adds the border from the center out to make it nice and symmetrical. The canvas extension color, you want a white border, so you make sure that your background color is white, and then you set this to background color is white, so you say okay. But first you need to add how many pixels that you want to add to the border. Now I've found that 20 pixels to the width and the height seems to give you a nice thin border. Press OK. That has now added that border around the image. Then you can just press stop on this action panel, and that has now finished recording, and it has created within your action panel the thin white border action. So if you, let's undo that action now that we've recorded it. So now we have this image, And rather than going through all them steps that you would normally go through, if you wanted to add a white border to this particular image now, you would just come up to the actions. No, you didn't. That's to record. You don't come up to the actions. You would just press the F2 key that you assigned to that action. So if I just press F2 on the keyboard, I now get this white border appeared around. Now you can keep pressing F2 and it will keep adding 20 pixels till you get a border size that you like. And you can obviously use actions for any thing that you do on Photoshop regularly to save time. So that's my tip for adding white borders. I hope you found it useful in some way. But thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, hit the like button. Any questions, leave a comment, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers then.